Okay, let's talk about the phases of the year. Typically for the tour, it starts late June and it ends mid-May. So in mid to late June, you're going to be arriving on the campus of Olney Theater Center. Olney Theater Center is in Montgomery County, Maryland. We're about 45 minutes north of Washington, D.C. We are a $7 million regional theater that operates on a cost contract, Council of Stock Theater contract. Olney Theater Center has 3 indoor stages and an outdoor stage. It has our main stage where we perform a lot of musicals and some new plays and some classics. It has our lab theater where we do a lot of newer work and also some classics. It has our historic stage that is the home for national players and is also a space where community groups in and around Olney will utilize throughout the year, and as well as some TYA performances from other touring companies that will utilize the historic theater. The historic theater is celebrating its 80th year of operation this year. We also have the Root Family Stage, which is the home of summer performances and community work that we do on a yearly basis. So Olney Theater Center has a vast campus, and it is an equity theater, and National Players are a non-equity touring group that operates out of Olney Theater Center as a part of the education program. So you will arrive at Olney Theater Center in June. You will move on campus at Olney Theater Center. You will live together. You will have roommates. You will have up to 3 other roommates on campus. You will either live in our Crawford House, which is an old farmhouse that has a number of rooms, as well as our administrative offices for Olney Theater Center and National Players currently. We also have some rooms over our historic theater behind the booth of the historic theater. So you're either going to live in an old farmhouse on a theater campus, or you're actually going to live in a theater. Again, you'll have roommates. I say these things because if you're the type of person that needs a lot of alone time and a lot of personal space, you will be miserable. So you shouldn't audition for this job. This is the kind of job that kind of requires a lot of people to be comfortable living together. We have introverts that work here and are very happy here. We have a lot of extroverts that work here and are very happy here, and we have people that kind of fall in between, right? So you kind of have to know like what you're most comfortable with and how much kind of personal alone time you need in order to like sustain yourself. But know that you're going to have roommates, and if that's not something that you're cool with, then you should not audition for this company. So in June, you're going to move in here. You're going to be a part of Olney Theater Center's vibrant operations. We'll have a musical going on the main stage. We'll have a company coming in to utilize the lab this summer. We'll have apprentices who are also living here year-round, and there are 16 apprentices that are also living here. And those 16 apprentices work in our offices, and they work backstage. They work in our education offices and dramaturgy, marketing and development. They work all over at the theater, and most of those are recently graduated from undergrad. They are early career administrators and artisans, and you are a part of that culture, as well as our local actors in the DC area and our professional actors that we bring in from New York, from Chicago, whatever. So you're part of this really vibrant theater enclave here in northern Montgomery County. So you move into Olney Theater Center. We get to work on our 3 shows. For the first 3 months or so, we are essentially in rehearsals for our 3 shows. The 3 shows are Twelfth Night, Around the World in 80 Days, and The Crucible. You're going to rehearse the first 2 shows, Twelfth Night and The Crucible, and around mid-August, we will tech both of those shows simultaneously, and then we will get them open and ready for the road. Then late August, around the 20th, 22nd of August, we'll start rehearsals for Around the World in 80 Days. By mid-September, we are teching and opening that show, and then all those things happen in the Historic Theater. Then we will practice a 90-minute version of those shows, because we also do 90-minute versions as well as full-length versions. And we will practice the 90-minute versions of those shows. We will do student matinees of those shows, and then we will be ready to go on the road. That's phase 1. So that phase 1 rehearsal process is late June through September. You're going to have a different director with each of the shows. I'll be directing The Crucible. Jenna Duncan, our Associate Artistic Director and Casting Director, will be directing Twelfth Night, and I will be happy to announce very shortly a director for Around the World in 80 Days. But you're going to be working with different directors for each of the shows. During that time also, is not just rehearsal time, but that's also training time. That's where you're going to get the technical training time for if you have the technical director assignment or the master electrician assignment or the sound projection supervisor assignment, the treasurer assignment, the company manager assignment, the PR assignment, all these assignments, the vehicles coordinator. You're going to have training on how to drive the truck. You're going to get your Department of Transportation physical. You're going to have, all of you are going to have a lot of education training, lessons in classroom management. You'll have lesson plans that you're going to work on. We'll adapt some of those lesson plans. We're going to just adopt some of those lesson plans. You're going to get training not only to be to have the training necessarily to be the actor successful in these roles, but you're also going to have your education training, your technical training, your administrative training, and your driving training. All that happens from mid-June, tail end of June into September. Those dates are on the website, so check the website to be specific about the first contract start date. And so that's why that takes a chunk of time, because there's a lot that happens. Not just the 3-show rep, but all the training. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is a more local residency where we will be living most of the fall on campus. We'll be traveling somewhat. We'll have a couple of weeks where we are going to be going on the road up to upstate New York or out to Pennsylvania or down into Southern Virginia or maybe out to Ohio, so that we kind of get our sea legs. We kind of learn what it means for, and by we I mean you, we learn what it means to be on the road as a self-sustaining tour where it's just the 10 of us, where we're the only ones on the road. We are the ones driving the truck. We're unloading and unloading the sets. We're learning about where the challenges are and how we can overcome those challenges, and then we report back and we work with myself and with Jenna on how we can then do it better next time around, how we can get our operation fine-tuned. And that's where a lot of the time in the fall is dedicated towards. There's also time during the fall where we can do some very specific outreach to our local communities, where we can go into some middle schools for an extended period of time, where we can go maybe into some elementary schools for extended periods of time, where we can learn about what it means to be able to give some long-term sustained community and educational outreach to some of the communities nearby, so that we understand what that impact is and how we can serve our local community, and we can be a better resource for educational touring inside and in and around Maryland. And so that's the second phase. That's what we call our residency phase. Some time here and some shorter stints out on the road. Then there's a break. You're going to be taking a break off contract where you will not be paid, where you decide to go back home, or you might be able just to hang out on campus, but you will be off contract from about mid-December until early January. You're going to return on early January. We're going to brush up all 3 of those shows, make sure everything is in the truck, and we send you out on the road. And then we won't see you again until mid-May. During that time, you're going to be traveling all over the U.S. The recent radius of the tour has been up to New Hampshire or Vermont, down to Florida, out to New Mexico, and up to Wyoming. So we may or may not get all the way out to the West Coast this year, but our general touring radius has been most of the states in and around that very large swath of the country. When you return, having successfully performed more than 100 times the 3 shows and taught thousands of students and conducted a number of workshops, obviously, and reached a lot of different communities, you're going to return. You're going to go back to the historic stage, where you will then do a 2-week repertory of Around the World in 80 Days and Twelfth Night. So there's a homecoming where you for next year, where you get to return to the campus at Olney Theater Center and perform 2 of those 3 shows for a couple of weeks in repertory, and get to feed back to the community here at Olney Theater Center and to all of the people who helped launch the tour and to our own Olney Theater Center community on what it meant for you to be out on the road, what you learned, the people that you connected with, the experiences that you had taking these shows around the country in 2018 and 19. And that's what the year looks like.